Wonderful, everybody. Just going to go live on YouTube in a second, and then we start. Give me a second. So wonderful to see all these lovely messages from all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, Vivi. From Bolivia, that's amazing. Thanks. Monish, lovely, good to have you. Seema, Anuradha, Divya, Naresh, Atima, Lakshmi. Oh, wow, I'm so glad it's happening here. Otherwise, I would have had to spend the whole day replying to all of you. I can just say thank you right away. Siddharth, good to see you. Akshit, Shifali, thank you, Shifali. Kalpana, brilliant. All right, guys, we've come for a specific reason today. And I wanted to use my birthday as an opportunity to talk about something that's inspiring me and to see if it resonates with some of you as well, and you want to join me in that. Let's begin, as we always like to do, with a moment of stillness and silence. I'm going to play my beautiful Tibetan bowl. Let's take a moment to tune into yourself, connect with yourself. You can take a nice deep breath. You know, in the kind of work that I do, it is a big mistake to teach. And it's a big mistake to not teach. Because how arrogant of you to assume that you can teach anybody. How arrogant. How would you know what the person needs? So it's a mistake to teach. It's also a mistake to not teach. How can you assume that what you have is not valuable to someone? Right. So either way, it's a mistake. So one of the great Zen masters says, life is one continuous mistake. And it's something, for me, it's something strangely relieving to know that life is a continuous mistake. So in other words, you've already got it wrong. So it's you embrace the fact that I love this word from Japanese Buddhism. They call it bombu. Bombu is we embrace our foolishness, our foolish nature. Just like we have Buddha nature, we also have foolish nature. All this silliness, no matter how much we learn, no matter what we do, a part of us remains foolish and silly. So birthday is a day to receive unconditional acceptance that people maybe can love and accept us despite all our foolishness, all our bombu-ness and our Buddha-ness. When I first began teaching, I remember I would notice I'm sitting here, all these people have gathered. And so I'm thinking, now what's going on over here? Am I the Buddha teaching these Buddhus? Buddhu in India means foolish, silly people. All right. So I'm the Buddha, I'm the wise one. Look, they've all gathered to listen to me. They're the foolish ones. But I said, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe I'm the foolish one who thinks he's got all this to teach and who's so restless to teach, jumping around all over the place to teach, enthusiastic. And they're the Buddhas. Because anyone who's willing and receptive to learn, that's a Buddha. So I turned it around. I'm the Buddha, they're the Buddha. And what great compassion. They don't need to hear this, but out of compassion for my restlessness, they've arrived. So I'm the Buddha. I'm the Buddha, they're the Buddha. And then I did another turnaround. What if all of us are Buddhas? I'm Buddha and they're Buddha. And the Buddhas are just rejoicing in this company of each other's. They're radiating and reflecting each other's light. And then there seemed to be one other layer available beyond that. What if I'm just me? And what if you're just you? Yeah. So we just show up. So in this way, playing with my consciousness, playing with the stories I tell, I found it very liberating. It's liberating to not get stuck in a single narrative, not get stuck in a single story. So when I articulate my vision, it is not a single story. It is a living, dynamic thing. Also, it's not something, even though it may look like it's intended for the future. For me, it's very much a living thing. It's something which has its roots very deeply in the now. The future is just an imagination. But there's a lovely quote, which I love very much. It is, happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So as I am, whatever age I'm supposed to be today, and I ask myself, I take stock. So what has this journey been like? And what is worth giving my attention to? What is worth giving my attention to for the rest of this lifetime? How can I make the rest of my life the best of my life? What for me is genuinely meaningful, expansive. So from that space, I articulate a vision. And even though I'll be using words and things, I want to say that primarily it's not even ideas, it's a field. It's a field of possibility, which I want us to lean into. And as I lean in, you also lean in. And you don't have to agree with my vision. Whether or not you agree with it, resonate with it, it'll clarify your vision. Right. So let me share with you a few nice slides that I got inspired to make. All right. So I love this little line by Swami Beyondananda. He says, all we need to heal the world is TV. TV? We need TV to heal the world? Yeah, we need TV. Why TV? That's where I tell you my vision and you tell me your vision. In fact, my ideal of a school would be, we don't start with a curriculum. Who is this person who has invented the curriculum? Who gave you the chance to decide what we should study? We should decide our curriculum. So we will start. If I was to start a school, I would get kids to dream for the first 2 weeks. What kind of world do they want to inhabit when they grow up? What kind of world do they want to create? My teachers actually asked me that, but I went to a school where I was asked these questions. And we came with all kinds, like I used to say, I remember saying, I want to create a world with no hunger. I want to create a world where people can live in homes that float in the sky. And I had all these interesting things that I said, right? Other people also said it. Oh, I want to be able to talk to trees and mountains. I want to live in that kind of world. Now, when you articulate those kinds of visions, which have never been heard before, which are considered impossible, now suddenly things take on a different meaning. Like, for example, my bright idea was, if we can just make grass edible, there'll be no hunger anymore. So I remember studying in biology, why is grass not edible? You see, my vision led to my interest in biology and studying deeper. In fact, I was studying about DNA way back in grade 3, which normally you learn much later in school. Why? Because I had a vision. My teachers allowed me to have a vision. So how come the most fundamental question is never asked in our schools? What do you want to learn? What inspires you, right? So tell a vision. So I'm going to tell you my vision, and that'll help you maybe clarify and tell me your vision. That's what today's about. We normally imagine that within a seed is a tree, but that's not true. It makes no sense that within a seed is a tree. That's not true. Within a seed is a dream of a tree. And what the seed has is a kind of magnetic power. As you put that seed in the ground and as you water it, this dream gets activated and it starts drawing in resources. It starts drawing in nutrients. It starts drawing in moisture. It starts drawing in all of these things. And the latent memory starts waking up. Something very deep starts waking up. So the seed does not contain the tree. The seed contains a dream of the tree, and that dream is magnetizing, and that draws in what needs to be drawn in. So while I have a dream, a seed, I don't have the tree. And I don't know what shape this tree will take, what branches it'll have. I don't know all that. All I know is there's a seed and it's a dream. And I want to water it today. And let's see where it goes. This vision is not something I see as happening now. Like I'm thinking of it now, it'll get achieved in the future. In fact, I have the complete opposite relationship with my vision. I honestly believe it is fully formed, which is I'm so chill about it, actually. Maybe I'm a bit too chill about it. I have a sense that my vision is completely formed. It is already so. And it is backwards in time, magnetizing me. So it's more like it's pulling me, not that I'm creating it, but it is pulling me. And that's the sense I have about the things that have come to me. You know, in many traditions, they have what's called vision quest in the Native American traditions and the African traditions. I know that even in the Indian classical music tradition, there's a time where you're just put alone. You're just put alone in a room with your instrument. Because you have to connect to something deeper than what you've been told. You have to find your own voice, your own song, your own vision. And I was fortunate to get a chance to do that. I got a chance to be a Buddhist monk for some time. And in that time, living alone for some periods, of course. Of course, we were with others as well. I was living on a mountain and I had a lot of time by myself. And these things began clarifying how to make the rest of this life the best of this life. This began getting clearer and clearer. That's a picture. Can you recognize? It was about this particular photograph, I think, was maybe when I was 28 years old. I became a monk when I was 23 years old. It was taken by my friend Alak. So yeah, when I was a monk, I had what I like to call a download, a series of downloads. It's like a visionary compressed idea, like a zip file that keeps unpacking itself as one goes along. One of the ideas was this short phrase. In fact, when this phrase came to me in meditation, it just kind of sent shivers up and down my spine. And I was in a state of pretty high bliss for quite a while. And I don't know if that'll do the same to you, but for my case, that's what it did. A gift for all, undistracted wisdom, wrapped. And wrapped for me has two meanings. Like wrapped is like wrapped around, but wrapped, R-A-P-T, wrapped in undiluted love. A gift for all, undistracted wisdom, wrapped in undiluted love. And somehow for me, this was a very internally consistent teaching. This was more like a seed. It was like a nugget of what I'm here to represent in this world. And I might not live up to it, but I'm here to represent it, right? And so a gift for all means there's a certain open-heartedness there. Undistracted wisdom means it's not coming from outside. It's coming from non-distraction. The clarity of life becomes instantly available. And wrapped in undiluted love. I remember this having an impact on me, these words. I take long walks in my monastery, just meditating on these words. One image which came, which is very powerful, is this image of people sitting in a circle. And everyone is giving their full attention to one person in the circle. They're giving their loving attention to one person in the circle. And that person is just received.
And we tune into them. We tune into them mentally. We tune into them emotionally. We tune into them energetically. What's it like for that person to be that person? And we radiate unconditional positive regard. Also call it Maitri, loving kindness. So I had this powerful vision. And then it would shift from person to person to person. And by the end of it, everyone had a turn to both give and receive and give. And then this would be done in silence. And then people would share what it was like for them. In fact, my first, when I was teaching, I didn't call them workshops, I called them joy shops. This was the essential format of people sitting in circles. And the sense I got is that something like this is not limited to only one place. It's going to spread all over the place. What are the three elements that came out of this? Deep listening, deep love, and deep silence. For me, deep listening is nothing but deep love and deep silence. Deep love is nothing but deep listening and deep silence. You see, so they're all connected. Deep silence is nothing but deep listening and deep love. So again, a very internally consistent teaching. And so this is what I would share when I first began teaching, and we would practice this. For me, the 4 dimensions of conscious living are pause, feel, intend, and connect. And these cover the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the superconscious mind, and the interbeing, the sense of oneness, the deeper reality that we all share, the deeper connection we all share. So I had this vision of what I like to call now, I was inspired by my friend Manoj, who had a nice phrase for this: clusters of resonance and networks of clusters. So I saw people coming together and connecting deeply with each other in small groups, small circles, small communities. And then those would magnetically grow, and then they would replicate and branch out in an organic way throughout the world. And I literally saw these centers of light all over the world. This is what came in my meditation. This is what came in my vision. One of the practices I did is called the 5 wishes, where in fact, we should all, it's a good one worth doing. Some of you have already done it with me. You interview yourself at death. You interview 2 versions of yourself. One version of yourself has had a very unsuccessful, unfulfilled life. And you ask this version of yourself, how come your life was so unfulfilling? Just before you die, please tell me. And the other version you interview is one who's had a very fulfilling, successful, complete, a glorious existence. It's like they have lived their life purpose multiplied by 1,000,000. It's like goes beyond what you can imagine. And you ask this version of yourself, what would it take? How come your life was so incredibly fulfilled? This kind of death interviewing is a practice which comes from many traditions. Interrogation just before death. In fact, in Greek tradition, they say, what is hell? Hell is just before you die, you meet the version of yourself that lived up to their deepest potential. And meeting that version of yourself, that's hell. The gap that you experience is hell. Fascinating description of hell. Hell is not some other realm. Hell is you not living up to the song inside of you. You not emptying yourself. So in my case, my 5 wishes: to be self-realized, to wake up to who I really am, and live it, not just wake up, not just a discrete event, but to embody it, right? And deep, meaningful connections, relationships, intimate relationships. Because that divine love has to be converted into human love. That's where it gets messy, right? And that's where a lot of shadows come up. And then sharing teachings that have relevance even long after this lifetime. They continue to be valid and relevant and supporting. So timeless teachings, creating a body of timeless teachings, compiling them, creating them. And then conscious communities, people who come together with a similar resonance. I like to call it the vibe of this tribe. And practicing together, learning together, sharing together, because all of us have genius, reflecting each other's geniuses and honing each other's geniuses. And the last one is actual places and spaces where we can come together. Because even the earth, I believe this is not just my wish, this is Earth's wish. And that might be my hallucination, but it's fine. So these are my 5 wishes. So in a way, my vision is guided by these 5 wishes. I wanted to create a place that is not exactly an ashram and not exactly a university, but something in between. Ashram is fantastic in many ways, but tends to be bound to one tradition, one teacher, one teaching, one system, one way of thinking. University looks at many different approaches. You'll have archaeology, you'll have physics, you'll have biology, you'll have all kinds of subjects. Usually, however, they're oriented towards the external world and about getting a job or a livelihood. So ashrams are inwardly looking, but they tend to be limited to one track or one path or one tradition. And universities are outward looking, but they tend to be very diverse and not reflective enough to my mind. So something in between, something that embodies and not just the best of both, but something beyond that as well. It's almost like it's coming to a higher level. That's what came to me as a good thing to create in this world. See, I'm quite shamelessly eclectic. I've learned, people ask me, who's my teacher? I can name hundreds of people who I consider my teachers. My primary teacher is life. My primary teacher is not a human being, because no human being I've found yet is as constantly vigilant and giving me such constant feedback as life itself. So life is my teacher. But there are so many human teachers, including ones who, like sometimes even people who I may not like the way they've lived their life, but certain things they've said, because one does not have to be perfect in order to give like a doctor does not have to be the saint in order to heal you. So I've also learned from people who others may not even consider to be very, very inspiring. But for me, they've given me an important piece of helping me come to a place of, quenching fulfillment. It's an ever-growing fulfillment. It's not a static thing. So some elements of dharma: know thyself, own and hone your gifts, and then share your gifts. So for me, these are the three characteristics. How can I create spaces and places where people can know who they really are, discover their gifts, and then share their gifts with each other? So another way of saying this is show up, share your gifts, and then synergize. What does it mean to synergize? To connect with the gifts of others, right? So show up means really show up. And notice in this moment what's required. Show up beyond your roles. Show up as life, experiencing life. In that moment, what gift needs to be shared? Synergize with the gifts of others. Another fun way of saying, I like all these short phrases. So wake up, grow up, and show up. Wake up is the path of self-realization or enlightenment. Grow up is the path of self-actualization or embodiment, empowerment. And then you got to show up moment to moment. Another fun way of saying this is, I think Eleanor Roosevelt said it in a much more elegant way than this. She said, empty what's full and fill what's empty and scratch where it itches. When you empty what's full, you wake up. When you fill what's empty, you grow up. And when you scratch where it itches, then you show up. That's a nice summary of what we're trying to create. Here's a lovely affirmation. It's inspired by Abraham Hicks. I attract through divine love all beings who seek enlightenment through this process. The sharing shall elevate us all. The word enlightenment can be quite heavy and difficult for some people. So I like one of my teachers, Byron Katie, who is beautifully embodying this so-called enlightenment or awakened dimension. See, what is it? It's basically not being caught up in your mind, M-I-N-D, mostly inaccurate neurodrama, right? So we all have this neurodrama and it does influence us, but not to be limited by it, to be able to access a ground. Like Rumi said, beyond idea of right doing and wrongdoing, there is a field. I shall meet you there. What if we live in that field and from that field? So I attract through divine love all beings who seek enlightenment through this process. The sharing shall elevate us all. The sharing is not always pleasant, but it elevates us all. Katie described her process as, she didn't call it enlightenment, she called it connection. And I love that word, connection. It's connection to ourselves. It's connection to what's deeper within us. It's connection to each other. It's connection to this life. So this is a nice summary of the priority: attention, intention, and connection. In fact, in a way, for me, connection kind of includes the previous two. Attention, Attention is being attentive. There was a Zen master who, Japanese Zen master was visiting the UK, and they had the Buddhist London, the London Buddhist Society. And on his way out, when he was leaving, he'd given many talks and people loved it. They said, one final advice, please, one final teaching. So he looked at, on the side, there was an entire wall covered with books. So in whatever English, because he'd been translated the whole time. So whatever English he could manage, he said, books, books, books. Too many, too many, too many. Dustbin, dustbin, dustbin. So get off the train of thought. Step into the actuality of your life. The real book to read is the book of your life, not just secondhand whispers on what life is supposed to be like, right? So step into it. Be bold enough to step into it. Yeah, it's great to read books, but let's not get confined in philosophies and theories. Beyond knowledge is wisdom. Knowledge is a point of view. Wisdom is viewing points. The ability to step, like for me, double clicking on Buddhism and suddenly waking up to, wow, all these religions, all these traditions, all these perspectives, they are viewing points. And suddenly you get it. Oh, wow, that's a viewing point. That's a viewing point. That's a viewing point. And if I really go there, I can see it like that. Wow, if I thought like that, I would see it like that. You kind of wake up beyond the fascination with one particular way of looking at life. For me, connection is more important than perfection. So in this whole journey of creating this, there'll be plenty of goof ups, and that's all right. It's important to just keep moving. And kindfulness, more important than mindfulness. Being kind with you. After all, remember we said bombu? Remember bombu? Bombu is the Japanese word, which means foolishness. Let's embrace the full extent of our foolishness. It's only when I embrace the full extent of my buddhu-ness, my foolishness, do I allow my Buddha-ness to shine through. For the longest time, I compared myself to the Buddha and my teachers, and it was hopeless. There was just no way I was going to get anywhere. Until it occurred to me that I cannot be a Buddha. I cannot be an Ajahn Chah. I cannot be a Byron Katie. I cannot be any of these Ramana Maharshis. But neither can they be a Nithya Shanti. Let's be very clear. The Buddha cannot be Nithya Shanti. Ramana Maharshi cannot be Nithya Shanti. Nisargadatta Maharaj cannot be Nithya Shanti. Nithya Shanti will be Nithya Shanti. Nithya Shanti is here to play Nithya Shanti. Nithya Shanti is not here to play Ramana Maharshi. And that radical embracing of my Buddhu-ness has been my salvation to whatever extent it has been. So I'm not really interested in followers, even though it's also called Nithya's vision and we have to name it something and we may have come with a better name. But really, I'm interested in leaders. In fact, the whole reason I've held back from talking about this for so long, because this dream has been within me for years, more than a decade, I would say 14, 15 years, is I don't want to be this person with followers. I've never wanted that. In fact, one of the reasons I left my monastic life was people began projecting all this stuff onto me. They'd come and say, oh, you came in my dreams and you answered my questions. And someone donated their apartment to me. And I began to say, where is this going? Why is so much projection happening? I want people to wake up to their power and divinity, not to mine. So my interest is not in followers. My interest is in leaders. And that leadership comes through an ability to be simultaneously humble and dignified. There's the humility, like I said at the beginning of this talk, it is a mistake to teach. Because I don't know what your life is like. It is very arrogant for me to assume I can help you. Who have I really helped, actually? It is also a mistake to not teach. So the humility to know that nothing I have to share could benefit you, no matter how I like to think it might. And the dignity to know that I have had this life experience, which no other being, none of you, not the Buddha, not anybody, has had this particular life experience. Only I have that privilege of having this life experience. And there's a certain inherent dignity in that. And no, my irritation is not the same as your irritation. My depression is not the same as your depression. It is an animal all of its own. So that kind of leadership is what I'd like to be surrounded by. My friend Hasmukh, I don't know if he's on the call today. I was with him in Sapna Ranch, and he has a piece of land nearby where he wanted to make a food forest. So we were talking, and what can we do? What can we do? And it turned out that, yeah, we were able to do some, last birthday of mine, we did some, we raised some money. Was it last birthday or the last to last birthday? I'm getting confused. I think it was the last birthday. Yeah. And I was asking him, so Hasmukh, this will take a long time. I mean, there's nothing here for us to plant the seeds and for them to grow and then to become a food forest. He said, Nithya, this is not for us. This is for the next generation. I love that. He said, what we are doing, we will not see the full fruition of that in our lifetimes. I just love that ability to see beyond. So some of the trees we'll plant, maybe we'll not even see them fruiting and flowering in our lifetimes. But think of how many benefits we have got because previous generations have laid the foundation for the things we enjoy today. Did you know that most of the benefits we enjoy today technologically have come out of the tumultuous time of World War I and II? Necessity is the mother of invention. So World War I and II were the most creative time when it came to invention. So we enjoy a lot of benefits today because of the sweat and tears and blood and the pain of our ancestors. So it is suitable for us also to look a little bit beyond our own lifetime, not just worry about me and my, the next little bump I can get in my pleasure and what I like. So yeah, this is pretty much coming to the end of my presentation. Come as you are. I'll talk about a little bit more specifics, but essentially everyone's welcome. If you resonate with this, you're welcome. And then we see how it goes from there. If there's an affinity, you're welcome. I believe this journey is beautiful in the beginning, beautiful in the middle, and beautiful in the end. This is actually a teaching from the Buddha. It's a path without grumbling. It's not like you have to get somewhere, some promised land. No, right here. It's already here. It's more about aligning ourselves. Like I said, for me, this vision is already fully formed. It's about aligning ourselves with what is already so. And in that way, being like a homing beacon, just gently bringing us back. A part of us has never actually left. And a part of us is forever arriving. I want to give you access to a meditation course of mine. It's my birthday, so it's nice to also give a gift. So this meditation course of mine is a 6-month course I offered last year. It's normally $144, but today, for the next 24 hours, you have free access to this course. You can go to that link. You can type it out if you like. We'll also, share the link on YouTube. But basically, it's bit.ly/, and it's case sensitive, so you got to be careful how you type it. RIP. RIP is my fun take on, instead of rest in peace, I call it rise in peace. _ Nithya. And then once you go there, you can use a coupon code, capital, all caps, NS Vision, and you'll get 100% discount. It's a course that I have compiled over 6 months, which has some of the best things I've learned around meditation. So if meditation is something that's interesting to you, if you're interested in my take on it and the different things I've learned around it, then you're welcome to go ahead and check out this course. So you can either take a screenshot or you can note it down and you can access this in the next 24 hours. Some of you already have access to it. How wonderful. And how do you be a part of this vision? First of all, what are we trying to do? So I would like to start from where we are. I would like, first of all, even in a rudimentary sense, if you're feeling drawn to this, then go to that link over there. It's also behind me now on the screen. And you'll find more detail I've kind of shared in different ways. There's some documents there you can go and look. I call it the vibe of this tribe. You can go and check out that document in more detail. I've talked about this. And then if you want to be a part of this, then show up. At least once a week, show up. Maybe once, twice. Let's maybe do it twice a week, once or twice a week, because also time zones. So we'll just try to do it once or twice a week. Definitely once a week, right? And we will show up. And I want to share with you skills. I want to build a certain capacity in us to be able to connect with each other. For me, connection seems to be a central piece of this vision. Connecting more deeply with myself. Connecting more deeply with my vision, not just Nithya's vision. What is my vision, my voice, right? And then sharing it, tell a vision, articulating it to each other. And building capacity. I'm learning these wonderful things. My friend Roy Jacob told me about authentic relating and circling. And I'm finding it so powerful. For me, this is so helpful, because the reason I haven't stepped up to this is I don't want to be the one where the buck stops. I want shared leadership. I want surrendered leadership. I don't want singular leadership. So the capacity within our collective to be able to reveal what's going on within us, own our experience, welcome everything, right? And to both honor ourselves and others. These are some of the principles. Leaning into our edge, leaning into the place which scares us. This is my edge, sharing my vision is my edge. It's like, oh gosh, now they're going to expect me to do stuff because I like to be free. But this is my edge, and I've got to lean into my edge. If I want to make the rest of my life the best of my life, I've got to go to the scary places in my life. I've got to show up with ambiguity and stand there and trust that what's magnetizing me will magnetize me. Like a little seed that has been put into alien ground and just keeps on dreaming that dream, and it takes in whatever moisture, whatever nutrients are needed for that tree to emerge. So a tree wants to emerge, and it doesn't just want to emerge for me, it wants to emerge from me and for all of us. Yeah, so check out that link and you can get some more information there. If you want to join, I'm going to charge 500 rupees per month to cover all our administrative expenses. And we'll charge that on an annual basis. So 6,000 rupees, it's about $7 a month or something. So I'm getting birthday calls. All right, that is pretty much what I wanted to share. Let's just be quiet for a bit before we discuss further. Just be in silence with me, because also this vision is not only communicated through words. Right now, I want to communicate in a vibrational way, which is perhaps more eloquent. So see if you can receive any of this. May I be a channel of blessings for someone today. May I be a channel of blessings for someone today. I am now a channel of blessings in the world. May you be a channel of blessings for someone today. May you be the clearest possible channel of the highest possible blessings in the world. We are now channels of blessings, channels of light, channels of love, channels of coherence, channels of clarity, channels of authenticity, channels of reality, channels of vision, channels of innovation, inspiration, channels of laughter and bliss, dying skillfully, dying happily, living joyfully, birthing something larger than ourselves. The highest in me bows to the highest in you. May today and every day be a brilliant day of your life, a blessed day of your life, and may the rest of our life be the best of our life. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. All right, that's pretty much what I wanted to share. I'm quite impressed with how I have been able to summarize all of this in 40 minutes. And now I would like to give you opportunities to interact with me, ask questions. If you're raising your hand, I'll unmute you and you can ask a question. Also, we have a Q&A box. You can put your Q&A there as well. So let me see. We have Tapaswini. Tapaswini, you want to say something? Go ahead. You can unmute yourself. Let's try Shriram Iyer. Try Shriram Iyer. You want to say something? I'm not sure if people are accidentally raising their hand or they actually want to speak. Yeah, Shriram, go ahead.
No, so I'm pretty new to meditation, and but I'm very much impressed by the way you talk about things, and somewhere I'm I want to be a part of this. Like, so is this like you need to have some kind of if you want to join your sessions, you need to have some kind of a background, or anyone can join this?
Anyone who's breathing and who has consciousness and who resonates can join. And meditation is not a doing, it's not an activity, it's a being. Right now, as you're articulating your question, you're aware. You're aware, you're putting your thoughts together. Yeah, it's I want to actually develop in these community calls, I want to develop relational meditation, which I'm beginning to feel now is actually a more natural form of meditation. This thing of closing our eyes and going inwards, while it's great, it's not as natural and obvious as connecting. See, human beings are connectors. We connect with other human beings, right? So I want to share and build a capacity within myself and this community to meditate in relationships. And what does it mean to meditate in relationships? It's to be aware of what's happening within me as I'm with you, and for me to check my assumptions about you. And in that process, as I check my assumptions, I share what I'm noticing in myself and in you. And you clarify my assumptions. And you tell me what you're noticing in yourself and me. We share impact. We start coming to a certain V space. There's actually a moment, just like in normal meditation, when you close your eyes, there's a moment where you feel like you've dropped in. In the same way, in relational meditation, there comes a point where you kind of drop in. It's like you go expand beyond your sense of being an individual and you tap into a certain collective consciousness. So join me, and you don't have to have experience in meditation. And we'll be meeting at least once a week, if not more. And I want to share a lot of things. People who are showing their commitment to this community are going to see me also showing my commitment to them. And I'm going to share with you. Of course, you will get access to already, whether or not you join, you're going to have access to my 6-month meditation course. So yes, Sriram, you're welcome. And you don't have to have prior experience with meditation to join. It's fine.
Thanks.
Thank you. Ankur Agarwal, would you like to say something? Some questions are coming up. There's in the Q&A box. Nithya, wonderful experience shared. Lots of prayers.
Hi,
Yes.
Nithya.
Ankur, go ahead. Yeah.
First of all, very happy birthday to you, Nithya. And
thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to connecting with you on daily basis or weekly basis. So definitely, I would like to be the part of your vision and go ahead with you only. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Which part of what I shared did you find most an affinity with? Did you find that really connects to me? Is there any one part of it that stands out?
Yeah, I'm your part of 2 or 3 courses. I've already done one course of you awake. So creating the balanced mind in every impact. So, and giving selflessly. So that's connect with me with you very honestly.
Beautiful.
Giving selflessly.
Doesn't your name
Sorry.
mean like Ankur means like a sprout, right? What does Ankur mean?
The sprout. That
Yeah, there
seed
you
is
go.
going to.
Isn't it? Yeah. I think we're having some connection issues, Ankur. But thanks so much for sharing. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're welcome to be a part of this. I'm not able to hear all of what you're saying, but I get it. I'm getting a sense of it. All right, and then we have who else is raising the hand? Sugandha, go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Hello. I'm just Nithya. No, sir. Just Nithya is fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Actually, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. And today my birthday is also there.
Areva, happy birthday to you.
Yes. before 3 years when I came to know that we both share same date, I love this date actually.
Good.
It is great opportunity for me. God has given.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you, Sugandha, and happy birthday to you. I'm just going to go through. Thank you, Sugandha. I'm just going to go through some of the written questions. So there is Sheila who's saying, I'm excited to be a part of this vision. Do we start right away? Is there any prep required? There's no real prep required. The link will take you to, there are a couple of documents. One is just like, it's like me rambling off aspects of my vision. So more than what I could have covered here in this short session today. So have a read through that. And if it's resonating, then there's a little form. You fill out your email. It'll take you to a payment gateway and you pay 500 rupees a month for a year. That's 6,000 rupees. And of course, I'm not interested in taking your money if you don't want to. So within 3 months, if this is not connecting with you, you can have all your money back. That's not a problem. Also, if there are some students who find it difficult to pay that much, then get in touch with us. We'll find a payment plan for you. That's not a problem. So money is not an obstacle. At the same time, I've noticed through my years of teaching, it's nice to have a little skin in the game. The moment you say, it's all open, then everyone also becomes very loose. So I want you to put a little bit. 500 rupees is something which most people can afford a month. So yes, that's how you can be a part of this. And then from next week itself, we will start connecting regularly and we will take it from there. Nithya, I don't have a master plan. Yeah, go ahead. Patty, what are you saying?
To your right so that people can look at that link clearly. I mean, you can shift yourself. Yeah.
Okay, let me move. Okay.
Obstructed. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. So Sheila, yeah, so that's how you can be a part of it. I don't have a big master plan. I just want to lean into the ambiguity of this like a seed and just see where this takes us. So I hope that answers the question. And then we have Sneha saying, is vision related only to spiritual awakening or can it be anything? It's all of life. It's not just spiritual awakening. Any aspect of your life which you're drawn to something larger than yourself and it's something very inclusive would be considered a vision. So it's not just about spiritual awakening. Our spiritual awakening informs our life, and our life becomes the laboratory and the practice ground for our spiritual awakening. We have to embody it in our life. So there's no dichotomy. Prasanna says, if realization is the ultimate destination, why is it so difficult? And do we need a teacher to get there? It's difficult until it's not. Suffering is required until it's not, right? The word difficult, in fact, I often tell people the most prevalent cult in the world is difficult. The realization is a funny thing. It's not if you think of it as a destination, because you're used to thinking in terms of time, that I live my life and I'll come to a point of time where there'll be a realization. But realization is a little bit different because you cannot become who you are. You can only be who you are. So it's a bit of a paradox. In fact, it's quite a paradox that we're giving you all these teachings like a map to enter a room that you're already in. So it's only realizing. So this is the so-called day where you realize you will laugh and cry at the same time. You will laugh at the fact that you were always realized. And you will cry at the fact that you were always realized and you never knew it. So this is the paradox. It's not a destination in time. It's a recognition that's timeless. And so it is actually available to you right now. But often we are caught up in the superficialities of our mind. But that's all right. So awakening is rather easy. The practice is for the embodiment of that awakening. That is what enlightenment is. Dear Nithya, do you organize, Amit is asking, do you organize a joy shop for the organization groups of people nowadays? Please advise. Yeah, I do. And you can find Patty's email will be there on this form, or Lata's email will be there. Just get in touch with us. And once in a while, I do things like that. And Nalini is saying, your Unishram. Oh, that's an interesting name. Unishram has place for yoga in it, Nithya. As you know, yoga is not just asanas, yoga is the way of conscious living. I mean, it's all yoga. I mean, in the deepest sense, what is yoga? Yoga is union. Yoga's union is to yoke. Yoke, the word yoga comes from the yoking, which is union. And like I've said again and again, it's all about connection. So connection with you, with yourself, and you with your inspiration, and you with each other, and you with life, that is true yoga. Sthiram Sukham Asanam. So within the asana, to find the stillness, to find that connection is yoga, right? It's nothing but yoga. Anchal says, do you want to listen again? Would want to listen again with your one-liner you said about leadership. Oh gosh, what did I say now? Things come out of my mouth sometimes. I don't even know what I said. You'll have to go back and listen to the recording, Anchal. I don't plan what I say. We'll go back and listen. Sneha says, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Sneha. Seema says, I meditate, I'm lost of language to convey. How much is language important for reaching out? Well, if it's in life, it's important. Language has its own power and beauty. And of course, language is also limited, of course. But let's not deny the power of language. I have learned so many things through language. You know, it's very interesting. When I count my gurus, I make sure to count Google as well. Well, I've learned so much through Google. So I call him Swami, you know, Google Ananda or Maharishi Google, Google Maharishi. Because so much I've learned through Google. How can I deny? You can't just say, oh, it's a tech company and it wants to advertise. Sure it is, but I have learned some very significant things from it. So I consider Google also as one of my gurus. So language also, why should we be against language? Yeah, language is like a thorn required to pull out another thorn. In your head, you're filled with thoughts. So I have to use thoughts to uproot some of your thoughts. For that, I need language. You need a thorn to pull out a thorn. So there's nothing wrong with language per se. And it is a tool. Is it possible to pay on a monthly basis? So if you really have a financial challenge, that will be more like an exception, Prashant. So get in touch with us and we'll do it. Because the whole thing with this monthly basis is then people get very, today I don't feel like joining. I think let's show a little commitment. Let's for at least 1 year show our commitment. And of course, if you're finding within the first 3 months, this is not for me, you can have all the money back. But if you genuinely have a financial issue, you can definitely pay monthly. Get in touch with us. And Shelja saying, Nithya, this is Shelja. What would be the frequency of these sessions? At least once a week, and whenever possible, more than once a week. That's the frequency. And they'll typically be an hour plus, so an hour to 2 hours. And I want to begin with these authentic relating games and develop our capacity to be more authentic with each other. It's all about unmasking ourselves. The more we unmask ourselves, the more we can be vulnerable and truly talk about what's going on with us in this moment, not just as a story in our life. Then we can begin to really trust. It builds the fibers and the roots of our deeper connection. And from that sense of embodiment and connection, automatically, the trees are going to emerge. You said the community will focus on sharing visions. What if one has none? So JB, I believe you have I can't really buy it. Even to know that you have none means that nothing has resonated so far. Which just means there's something deeper there. And if vision is too heavy a word, just talk about priority. Take away the word vision. Maybe what's your priority? Is your priority being busy from morning to evening? Or is your priority spaciousness? Is your priority being very serious? Is your priority having more fun? Is your priority connection or disconnection? Just go with something simple like that. You don't have to get stuck in big words. Like if I was to boil down my vision, for me, it's connection. It's connection. Of course, even connection is a word. And even that has to be transcended. But it's a pretty good word. And for me, it kind of captures the essence and the energy of what I'm trying to do. So like that. And Amol is saying, every time I start meditation, a song arises and I'm not able to stop it. Why do you have to stop it? Witness the song. One of my teachers was meditating and these carpenters didn't realize what meditation is. They came again hammering and knocking and talking. And we saw that he meditated the whole time for 1 hour. So we said, weren't you disturbed? They were talking loudly. They were hammering. They were drilling. He said, yes, when I first got to meditate, I was watching my breath. But when the sound began, I just made that my meditation. You see, sound is arising in the present moment. And to be aware of sound, arising, passing, sound is arising by itself, passing by itself. Creating suffering, because I don't like it, watching the suffering arising and passing and accepting it. This is profound meditation. There's nothing wrong. If a song arises, my brother called it a song worm. It's like a song worm has gotten into your brain. So yeah, you witness the song when the song arises. It's all right. Right. Mona is saying how to devote yourself to the calling of higher being and balancing your responsibility to the family. I don't think it has to be in opposition, but there will be a tension. It's a creative tension. This tension is available, is there in every aspect of my life, in our life. Growth happens on the boundary of support and challenge, right? So Mona, there will be a pull in different directions. That's how we've grown. We've always grown when pulled in different directions. We've had to learn to, it's a call actually to a higher level of consciousness where these thesis and antithesis, they become a synthesis. So whenever you see that kind of dichotomy, that's not a bad thing. That's like you're on the edge. And like I said, lean into that edge. You ask questions like, how is it possible? Is it possible? What would it take to make it happen? Is it really two different things? Is there a middle which actually encapsulates both, where my calling of higher being is not in opposition to my responsibility as a family member? Could that be possible? These are good questions, and they take us in a direction where the resolution happens. Can addiction be dealt with meditation? I think meditation could be part of the solution. In some cases, I mean, I know people who have literally gone for a meditation course and they've come out of their alcoholism, they've come out of their drug addiction. There are such people. But usually my take would be, it takes a little bit more than meditation. It takes a little bit of talking and untangling some of the stories we have about ourselves and about life. So it's possible, but it may not be, one doesn't have to use one tool for everything, right? What else do we have? Is there any way to concentrate on only one thought for a few moments deeply? Why not? Rather, concentrate. Concentrate on one thought of what gives you maximum expansion and joy. What stops you from doing that? And this word deeply means like, oh, you're kind of comparing, oh, what is deep, what is shallow? Just concentrate. Take away words like deep and shallow. Prasanna is saying, if you were to give a roadmap to self-realization, what's that? Meditation or more than that? I'm assuming awareness comes to us as a result of meditation. No, it's the other way around. Meditation comes to us as a result of awareness. Your basic reality is awareness. It's not that you attain awareness, you are awareness. You don't, see, the thing is, you don't get self-realized. You can't get wisdom. It's going to get you, right? The self is forever already realized. It's more like your superficial self that merges with it, that recognizes it. So yeah, one can give all kinds of roadmaps. The basic roadmap I offer people is from victimhood to empowerment, from empowerment to being a channel, and from a channel to being, and from being to our true nature. So tamasic, rajasic, sattvic, nirgun. And a simpler way of saying this is focusing on problems, problems expand. Focusing on possibilities, like we're doing now, possibilities expand. Behind the possibilities is joy. As I focus on possibilities, start taking action towards it, joy arises, joy expands. As joy expands, present moment awareness is very natural and easy. Present moment awareness expands. As present moment awareness expands, my identity, sense of separation dissolves. As identities dissolve, my true nature reveals itself as not being bound to anything, any gender, any religion, any race, anything whatsoever. And as that expansion happens, simultaneously, you feel one with everything and inherently nothing at the same time. So this is a great paradox. I'm nothing, yet I'm everything. It's zero and infinity. There's a nice quote. Infinity, if you've seen the symbol of infinity, it's like that, lying down 8. Infinity is zero with a twist. So when you are having problems in your life, then recognize this is not just what's happening to me. I'm also adding something to it. I'm getting victim-minded. I'm saying, why me, poor me, what about this? And you're projecting something into the future. So as you look at, that's like the roots. And as you recognize, yeah, that's what's going on. And you don't flinch, you embrace it, you're authentic about it, this is what's going on. And what might be a better place to focus my attention? Instead of what I don't want, let's focus on what I really want, that inspiration. And that leads to Rajasic. Energy arises, empowerment arises, drive arises, you get things done. A lot of people are living in that place of ambition, getting things done. It's great, but it's limited because it's going to get done somehow, sometime, somewhere, who knows when. How many of your desires are really your desires? I mean, in this case, it's like funny. I've tried to Say, oh, it's okay, let me just do my own thing. Why do I have to go for a vision? But it will not, when it doesn't go, it's just got me by the throat for 15 years. Then this is not my desire. This is life's desire for me in this lifetime. So I just got to show up. At some point, you just surrender and say, all right, what has to be done? Let's get it done. Let's show up. Let's talk about this on my birthday. Let's see where it goes. All right. So that's when you come to Sattvic. You come to the third level, which is the sense of behind the problem is possibility. Behind possibility is joy. Behind joy is the present moment. And behind the present moment is my true nature. What you focus on expands. So the summary I can give you of a path to realization is to become an alchemist of your attention. Your most precious resource is not money, is not time, is not even energy. Your most precious resource is your attention. And I can prove that to you because the most prosperous companies in this world are part of the attention economy. They have your attention, right? So attention is the most valuable resource in the world right now, and perhaps always. So we're entering a new time, a time where consciousness rules. And the consciousness can either get lost in its projections or it can wake up to itself. And my vision encapsulated is about taking back, standing back in our light. Instead of giving our light to all these endless companies that want, it's all right, that's also that they're also fulfilling their dharma. But let's come back and let's take back our light. Let's own our light. Let's find simpler, more sane ways of living. And let's translate that into how we educate ourselves and our kids, and how we heal ourselves and each other, and how we grow and consume our food, and how we live together. And I think I think we all have, I believe every single one of you on this call, or if you're watching the recording, I cannot believe that you do not have an intuition that there must be a better way. There must be a better way. And if you have that intuition, then I invite you to join me. If some of what I've said today resonates, all of it doesn't have to resonate, but if some of it resonates, that's good enough. And you're welcome. And there's a link, and you can join me. And I have a couple of things more. I was sent a birthday gift, which I haven't opened yet, by a bunch of friends. Let's open it now and let's see what's coming. Oh, wow. So it says, Dear Nithya, happy ageless day to you. A small token of love and appreciation from Radha, Vivan, and Gokul, Mayurma. So let's see what this is. Oh my goodness. Can you see that? What does it say? The journey of expansion. That is so beautifully made. I don't know if you can notice the detailing there. It is so beautiful. Amazing. Wow. That's me as a kiddo. That's great. How fortunate I am to have folks like you. It says at the back, lots of love from Gokul, Radha, and Vivan. Thank you. That is so beautiful. I'm going to frame that. And one last thing I want to do, Bhavna thing, and when do you plan to start then? We're starting right away. Just join this link that I've given you, and you'll be put into a Telegram group in a day or two, and then you'll hear more information. I like to call this a cute cult. Get ready to join the cute cult. Why do I call it a cute cult? Don't take ourselves so seriously. Like no matter what you join, someone's going to call it a cult. So let's decide it as a cult. And it's a cute cult. And our cult is cuter than your cult. So now one more thing I want to show you. Wait. All right. So my brother gifted me. Actually, got to put my screen thing off, right? I have this green screen thing. I'm going to put that off. One second. Virtual background off. Right. So now look at this. This is dominoes. And it's a game called Crokinole. And my brother gifted me these dominoes. So I thought what I'm doing today, it's something like dominoes, isn't it? I'm trying to launch one domino that has a cascading effect. Who knows where it's going to go? So let's actually do this. Let me just arrange my laptop so I know what I'm doing. Right. Okay, guys, are you ready for this? Ta-da! It's going to start with one of you. Let me hold this camera right.
We can't see the table.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah? Okay, are you ready?
A little more to your right. Yes, now this is
Are you ready? Are you ready, guys? Okay. It worked. Right. All right, everybody. That was our session for today. I hope you enjoyed all the fun and mayhem. So looking forward to have you join us. And if any of this resonates, and I do want, like my intention for this year was and is deeper practice and deeper connection community. So join me in making this year and the years ahead years of deeper practice. Practicing what? Practicing what's important to you, valuable to you, and deeper community. Right. Lots of love. Be well. Take care.